Ignore every rule. As my friend used to say to me, and he said, you can't smoke in here. Look, no smoking. And he was a very wonderful lad. He said, he didn't say positively. And so he would go right through the gate to the airplane, and I would say, Mort, you cannot smoke in here. It's not supposed to smoke. Didn't say positively. And here's Mort going right through with his cigarette. No one stopped him. He didn't do it to brag. He simply believed in himself. He wouldn't hurt anyone. Now, you don't have to hurt anyone. I tell you, your own wonderful human imagination is immortal. That's the man in you that cannot die. I meet them, those who are called dead, and I tell you they aren't dead. Nothing dies. Everything is restored. Everything is restored. But the day will come, you'll go beyond restoration, and you will resurrect. And who is resurrecting? God. And God in you awakens, and you are God. Because God is the Father of David. That is the way you know you are God. I will tell of the decree of the Lord. He said unto me, thou art my son. Today I have begotten thee. These are the words of David. What is going to happen to you? Then you will know you're God. You have no other way of knowing that you're God, unless God's only Son calls you Father. For no one knows who the Son is except the Father, and no one knows who the Father is except the Son, and anyone to whom the Son chooses to reveal him. So no one has seen God, but the only Son who is in his bosom, he has made him known. And he comes out of you and calls you Father, and then you know who you are. And I'm telling you, every one of you, because you and I were chosen in him before the foundation of the world. Chosen for the purpose of receiving the gift of God, which is his glory. For he gives me himself. And in giving me himself, if he's a father, then give me your son. You can't give me yourself in part. Give it to me in totality. So if you are a father, then where is your son? Your son must be my son. And he gives me his son. So he so loved us, he gave his only begotten Son. To whom? To you, to me, to every child born of woman. So every one of us will become fully aware that we are God. And yet, I will know you as Jim. I will know you as Jim, but I will also know that you are God. I'll know you as Sard and know you are God. I'll know you as Bill and know you are God. I'll know every one of you. And the unnumbered billions that are not known to me here, in that day I'll know them all, and still know them all as God. For there is nothing but God. When the curtain comes down on the final act, we're all God. We are then the glory of God. So we will finish the work. He said, I have finished the work which thou gavest me to do. Now, glorify thou me with thine own self, with the glory that I had with thee before that the world was. It's returning now. The whole memory returns, and then every man becomes God. But now do not fail to apply the law. Blessed is the man who delights in the law of the Lord. In all that he does, he prospers. You name it, and you can be it. You just name it. And if you dare to assume that you are it, and view the world from that assumption instead of thinking of it, you will crystallize it. You will actually manifest it in this world. That definition of imagination, I'll go along with for a certain point, up to a point. That things present are sense perceived and called real. Things absent are called imagination. But man being all imagination, man must be wherever he is in imagination. So I need not be anchored to where my senses dictate. I can stand here and assume that I am elsewhere. And then, if I assume that I am elsewhere, let me anchor myself there and view the world from it. If I view the world from it, I should see this place as I would see it were I physically there. I can see it surrounded me and under me. Then I did not move in imagination. If I move in imagination, then I must think of where I was physically and see it elsewhere. I can see it where I am in imagination and be moved. For all motion, well, I can tell myself if I have moved by a frame of reference. If I have moved relative to this room, well, then let me look to see where am I now. I must have moved. For motion can be detected only by a change of position relative to another object. Well, here is the object. I assume now that I am, I name it. If I am elsewhere, let me think of this room. Well, I can't see it as I now see it. If I see it as I now see it, then I didn't move. I can only move if I see it differently. Well, now, if I move, and now I'm standing in my home, sitting in my chair in the living room. Now, let me think of this club. I must see it away down on Catalina.